with another episode of Holidays Are Coming. Today and for the next couple of episodes, I'd like to focus on appetizers and party foods, pickup foods. I had someone make a request to show some appetizer recipes because she's getting ready to have a Christmas party in a couple of weeks, and I wanted to help her out. Now, again, I also wanted to say I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I did. And moving on to Christmas, we're all even busier than ever. So I've kind of come up with some recipes that I gave my mom a call, and she helped me with some things that I remember from when I was small, when, you know, cocktail parties were really popular when I was a kid, and for the grown-ups, of course. But this is one that we're going to do today. It's called Party Rounds, and it's not a very creative name, but it's delicious. It's a little piece of bread with this spread that you put on the top, and you broil it, and it souffles, and it gets all bubbly, and it's absolutely amazing. Let me show you what goes into it. We're going to use 1.5 cups of mayonnaise, 2/3 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, and then we're going to use 3 tablespoons of finely chopped onion, and I mean very finely. I almost considered grating this on my microplane, but then I was afraid it might get too juicy. We're going to use some oregano, some garlic powder, some black pepper, some seasoned salt, and a dash or two of Worcestershire sauce, pardon me. Then we're going to slather it on the top of bread. Now I have cocktail rye bread, and I left some of it whole. I've cut some of it with a biscuit cutter, and then this is just some wheat bread, and I'll show you. If that's all you have or all you like, this is really not a problem. You can use this. This little cocktail bread is great. You can do a couple slices at a time and just get the smallest biscuit cutter that you have. Or you can just leave it whole and then cut it in half later. Then what you can do is you can just cut out of a whole slice of bread, and you can get 4 of these little rounds out of 1 slice of bread. Oh, well, if you don't do it incorrectly. This bread is very soft, and yes, this is store-bought bread because after Thanksgiving weekend I did not end up making bread of my own, so off to the store it was for me. Okay, then you can just discard these because really, unless you want to save them and make bread crumbs. So, I'm sure Sissy wants some. And we just put these over here like so. And we're great. Now, let's mix up off my surface. And I'm going to put my bread away so it doesn't dry out. This rye bread does have a tendency to dry out. This cocktail rye is available, this cocktail pumpernickel is available this time of year going into the holidays in the deli section of most major supermarkets and supercenters. If you go look over by where they sell the deli meat and the cheeses, that's where you'll find it. Usually have a rye and a pumpernickel, and sometimes you can find a little party white loaf that's real small like that. It's really good for finger sandwiches as well. Okay, so I'm going to get one of my swanky new bowls here and a spatula. We need 2/3 of a cup. Oh, let's do the mayonnaise first. We need 1.5 cups of mayonnaise. And this can be made a couple days in advance and kept in the refrigerator. If you have leftover, put it in the refrigerator, spread this on a slice of bread in the morning, and put it under the broiler, and you've got breakfast or lunch the next day. This is fantastic. You're going to love it. This just is so savory, and it just makes, it hits all those flavor sensors in your mouth. And this is, my mom got this at a cocktail party in the 70s from a doctor's wife, I believe. And she has been making this, she hasn't made it in a very long time. It's one that, oh, I put the lid on that and I need more. But I asked her about making appetizers, and I told her I had some ideas and I wanted to make this one in particular. And so when she was over at my house, I told her I didn't have the recipe. As soon as she got home, she called me and gave me the portions, which was awesome. So, okay, there's our mayonnaise, 1.5 cups. And then Parmesan cheese, and this is finely grated Parmesan cheese. This is also from the deli. This is 2/3 of a cup.
You're lucky. Between your mom and your grandma, you got a lot of great recipes.
Yes, I do. I am so lucky for that. All right, and here's 3 tablespoons of finely minced onion. And then I'm going to get my measuring spoons down here. We're going to do half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Half a teaspoon of seasoned salt. And the original recipe calls for garlic salt and seasoned salt. Now I just thought that was too much salt because the mayonnaise and the Parmesan cheese already are salty. So I really saw no purpose. And I'm going to go ahead and use half a teaspoon of black pepper as well. And let's see where I feel. There. That's not even a teaspoon, really. You're going to want to mix this up well. Oops, and try not to spill it all over the place. I got some new pasta bowls, and this is one of them, and I really love them. And they were dirt cheap. They were 4 for $5 at the local super center. They came in a box of 4 for $5. And I just have been looking for some bowls like this. So I thought, I'm going to buy those. So I had to make myself a promise that if I bought these, I was going to clean up my cupboard and get rid of some of the things that I don't use a lot of. All right, let me grab a teaspoon, just a spoon. Oh, that's yummy. All right, let me bring my pan over here. And I have my broiler preheating. If you like, you can put this in a pastry bag and just smoosh it on the top. And don't put too much because it will cook over the edges. What's going to happen is this is going to get all browned and bubbly, and that cheese is going to melt in there. And if you have some of this topping left over, please, no fear, because this will hold over in your refrigerator for a week. And trust me, it's not going to last a week once you taste it. It's going to be amazing. I think so many, I mean, the 60s and the 70s were really like the height of the cocktail party. In the 50s also, you know, our grandparents, my grandmother had great little pick-me-up recipes, but, you know, by the time I came along, she wasn't really entertaining a whole lot. And my mom entertained a lot when I was small. I'd say in the late 60s, early 70s. She gave a lot of cocktail parties. She attended a lot of cocktail parties. She loved to entertain and always did a New Year's Eve bash. And I used to love that because when I was a kid and I had to go spend the night at my grandparents' house, I always knew the next day when I went home, she would always save me a plate of whatever she served at the party. And of course, I was usually around when she prepared it. And I'm talking, this is when I was really small, folks. This is like 5, 6, 7 years old. Because after that time, I don't really remember my mom entertaining a whole lot. And then, of course, growing up, we did some catering together, and my mom was a pastry chef. So I am really fortunate in my background and in the knowledge base that I have in my life. Right. Next thing we're going to do, this is just some oregano. I'm just going to sprinkle lightly on the top. The original recipe just says to add a pinch to the mixture, but I think this isn't going to overwhelm the flavor too much because this is already a strongly flavored dish. So I think sprinkling it on top is just perfect. I have set my broiler. It is ready to take this, and I have put my rack not on the very top one, but on the one below that. And I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to crack the door open, and I'm going to watch it carefully. I'll be back in just a few minutes, and I'll show you what this looks like. They are ready. This took like 2.5 minutes. Look at them. They're beautiful, they're brown, they're bubbly, and that mayonnaise has helped it to souffle a little. And wait until you bite into these because they're the perfect pickup. These little ones are about 2 bites worth. These larger ones, I would suggest maybe either cutting them in half or just going ahead and serving them alongside a bowl of soup or something, which is what we're going to have with our dinner tonight. So, I hope you try this, and I hope you enjoy it. And one caveat I will say, do not use Miracle Whip in this recipe. It will be all wrong. This recipe, not designed to have sweetness in it. It's supposed to be savory and unctuous and salty, and there you have it. Party rounds a la 1970s, right from my mom. I hope you try this, and I hope you enjoy it. Until next time, I'll see ya!